See, I'm going to assume that given this video, you don't actually want accommodations for time blindness. I'm a little bit flummoxed, I'm a little bit perplexed, you know? Let's go over some things together, shall we?
I just think that schools and businesses have a higher obligation to God, and I think that their first responsibility needs to be to care for other people, and if those people are struggling, then they need to reach out to them and ask, okay, how can we help you? What can we do to work on this?
If you are following me for any length of time, you know where this is going, correct? I know that this woman is a diehard Christian and has gone on to live to talk about biological women and her Christian faith or whatever. But when it comes to schools, when it comes to education, when it comes to religious entities, you can either choose God or accommodations. You're not getting both. And I mean that quite fucking literally. Why? Because at the federal level, religious entities are exempt from the Title III of the ADA. According to adata.org, if a religious entity controls a school that is open to both members and non-members of the religious entity, the school is still considered a religious entity and is exempt from Title III. Likewise, if a religious entity holds an event such as a festival or performance, which is open to the public, it is exempt. And this isn't just some fluke, like, oh, we just forgot to talk about religious entities in the ADA. They actively fought for this. This is from Sojourners. They actually fought against being legally accountable to provide access to disabled people, as shown in archived documents. And just because I like this little quip, unfortunately, they didn't hold themselves morally or biblically accountable to do so either. In fact, religious entities and churches in particular hired lobbying firms to argue against their inclusion in the ADA, specifically citing that it would violate their First Amendment rights and erode the line between church and state. It's really interesting when they decided to argue that, right? They even went deeper and said that the definition of a disability includes people who are drug addicts, alcoholics, and who have HIV/AIDS. And being forced to include them under the definition of disabled under the ADA would be a violation of their clear church and religious rights. But what was it you said?
I just think that schools and businesses have a higher obligation to God, and I think that their first responsibility needs to be to care for other people.
So before you get upset with me telling you that you can't have both, don't tell me. Tell the church.